first class, that is meaning of assessment, measurement, test, examination, appraisal and their interrelationship. So first topic is our assessment. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to keep a note of it, or else you can also ask me to provide you the PDF of everything, whatever I am going to teach. Assessment. What is assessment? Systematic way of acquiring, reviewing and using information about someone to make improvement wherever it is necessary. So what we will do through assessment? We will acquire, review all informations that we have gathered about a student, and we will use this information to make the necessary improvement required. That is called assessment. Assessment is a process to examine or measure students' progress in learning. We should always keep a record about the development, improvement of a student's learning. So assessment is a process which will help us to measure or examine the students' progress in learning. It determines whether the learning objectives have been met or not. We teacher always plan learning objectives which will be accomplished at the end of the chapter. Okay, so through assessment we can examine whether the learning objectives that we had planned has been met or not. It provides feedback to the students, teacher, institution, etc. about the effectiveness of the educational service. Okay, so through assessment it will provide feedback to the teacher first, then the student. Small children will not use the feedback properly. We need to help them, like children in UKG 1, 2. But the younger one, they can use the feedback to judge themselves and make necessary improvement. Feedbacks are also used by schools to measure their academic performance. So assessment gives feedback. Okay. Next, we will see some of the definitions given by some people. Lynn and Miller say, assessment as any of a variety of procedure used to obtain information about students' performance. So, Lynn and Miller said, there are different type of ways to get information about the student. Like examination is there, then test is there, then evaluation, assessment. So, assessment is one of the kind of many variety of procedure used to obtain information about the student and about their performance. Aaron said, full range of information gathered and synthesized by the teacher about student and the classroom. Aaron said, assessment is a process of gathering and synthesizing information about the students and the classroom by the teacher, and the teacher will use this information for further development in a class. Okay, I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. AU paper, exam paper, it is said that you need to fill the pages. Okay, so we don't get much content, so here I have provided you 3 to 4 diagrams which you can definitely put in the paper so that you will get good mark. Okay, so in the previous video we have discussed some of the points of assessment. Now we will see the techniques. What are the different techniques through which we can assess a student or classroom? So the first technique is observation. We can observe the performance of the child. Okay. Then the second is rubrics and checklist. Rubrics means, suppose you have divided the marking scheme of an essay or of a letter. The format will contain this much of mark, body will contain this much of mark, and accordingly you will mark the children. So that is called rubrics. Okay. Self and peer assessment. Okay. A child can self-assess and friends can also assess to each other. Tests and quizzes in between the chapter, in between the lesson imparting. You can also ask some questions to the children to improve their clarity, to know how much they have learned or to know how much they are taking in. And test, of course, you know that After the chapter ends, you can give a test, you can take a test of the children, portfolios and project the assessment. Okay, so these are some of the techniques through which you can assess the children. Now, this is very important that all assessments are not tests, but all tests are assessments. So, I have given you a Venn diagram, okay, which says that all tests are assessment, all kind of tests, whatever test you take in class are assessment, but all kind of assessment, these are different techniques, but all are not tests, okay. Test is different and all kind of assessment are not tests, but all tests are assessment. Assessment has come from a Latin word assider, which means to sit with. Assider, to sit with, okay. Now, let's see some of the characteristics of assessment. There are different characteristics. What is characteristic? It is the nature, okay, how assessment is. It is a comprehensive process. It is a continuous process. We can continuously assess a child, okay. Now, it gives feedback. It is feedback oriented. It will give feedback which you can use to make further development in the learning procedure. It is purposeful. You assess to get result, okay, and you always have a purpose in doing the assessment. Randomly you cannot just give the test, ask the children to write the test without any cause, okay. So it is purposeful and it is diagnostic, okay. You can always diagnose the process of assessment, you can always diagnose a child, everything. So diagnostic, comprehensive, continuous, feedback oriented and purposeful. We all have been to school, so we know that what are the different types of assessment. That is formative assessment, summative assessment and continuous and comprehensive evaluation, CCE. Okay, so that's all. This is the entire note of assessment which you can always refer to write in the exam. Thank you.